Hello, my name is Amy, licensed mental health therapist, and welcome to my channel, OCD, Mental Health, and Jesus. And I do come from a Christian perspective in regards to mental and emotional health. And I wanted to do a short video on the importance of mental health and menstrual health. And I do believe that both men and women can benefit from this video because obviously, men, if you have a girlfriend or a fiance or a wife, this can be important information for you to know as well. But as a therapist, I very much encourage my female clients to really pay attention to their menstrual health, pay attention to their cycle as much as they're able to. I know certain women's cycles can be pretty wacky. Some women are on various forms of birth control, and I realize that there's some nuances there. But just in a general sense, when you're suffering from a mental health issue, depression, anxiety, OCD, ADHD, maybe bipolar disorder, or maybe something more severe, such as schizophrenia or things of that nature. I don't want to say more severe, I guess I should say different. But I think when you are a woman and you have these mental health battles, I think that your menstrual health and where you are in your cycle can absolutely exacerbate your mental health challenges, or certain times of the month they might actually lie a little bit more dormant and might be a little bit easier to deal with. But I always encourage my female clients to track their cycle just for their own sanity and their own well-being. And the reason I ask them, or encourage them, I should say, to do that is, again, because when you track your cycle, sometimes your mental health related symptoms, whatever they might be, they might actually increase during certain parts of your cycle. Maybe the PMS part of your cycle, that typically happens more or less, a week before your period. But there are other parts of your cycle where mental health issues can fluctuate, or they can go up, they can go down, depending on what part of your cycle that you're in. And the other reason that I encourage women to track their cycles is because it actually helps give a little bit of affirmation or confirmation when women start to feel uneasy about what they're experiencing. Maybe they're feeling great and they're feeling like, oh, my symptoms are less, I'm getting better. And then a certain part of their cycle, it increases and they're like, what happened? What did I do wrong? Et cetera, et cetera. And you may have done nothing wrong in terms of your own recovery process. You might just be experiencing the ebb and flow of the menstrual cycle. And whatever your mental health issues are, again, those can either increase or decrease during parts of your cycle. So I've been tracking my cycle for several years, and it's been extremely helpful. I do feel like I've been able to get it down to a science to a degree. As I get older, I'm noticing that some of my symptoms are sort of fluctuating differently throughout the month. So this is a little tricky, but nonetheless, when I notice at certain times of the month my OCD symptoms get worse or get better, I'm able to identify, oh, I'm probably in this part of my cycle right now. I need to watch out for that. I need to give myself some grace. I need to reach out. I need to use my tools. Now, I do believe that if you are in therapy, that can absolutely help, especially if you're in the right kind of therapy for whatever mental health issue that you have. For example, with OCD, typically things like ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy, or ERP, exposure and response prevention, are the most effective forms of therapy for OCD. Now, I do believe there are absolutely other modalities that can certainly be effective for OCD, but those two specifically can really help symptom reduction. So hopefully, if you're in the right kind of therapy, whatever your struggle is, anxiety, depression, ADHD, as you're in the right kind of therapy, which really does matter, then hopefully as you go through the various ebbs and flows of your menstrual cycle, you'll have better tools. Your nervous system will be more regulated and you will be able to deal with your symptoms better. That is certainly what has happened with me as I've gone through my own recovery process, is that my symptoms overall reduce the more of the work that I do in my own recovery process. So therefore, when I go through the menstrual cycle ebbs and flows, I know how to handle it a bit better. So that's encouraging. It helps the menstrual cycle ebbs and flows, or the mental health part of it. It helps that ebb and flow of the mental health become less mysterious. So when you're tracking your cycle, some people use trackers. They use online trackers. I know there's a lot of free apps that you can use for tracking your mental health. Or I'm sorry, menstrual and mental, tracking your menstrual health. And then I would definitely encourage that. I don't use an app per se, only because I feel like I'm able to really track mine on my own. But if you struggle with that, definitely try troubleshoot a few apps, and that might actually be really helpful. It can actually kind of help you feel a little bit less crazy. I'm sorry if that term is offensive to people, but sometimes in your menstrual health, uh, your menstrual cycle, again, I'm getting those mixed up. In your menstrual cycle, your mental health can be such to where you do feel kind of like you're crazy. And it can be very demoralizing and sometimes very scary depending on how severe your symptoms are. So, this can potentially help you feel a little bit less that way, put you more at ease. Instead of being blindsided by your symptoms, you can put it into context in terms of where you're at with your cycle. Um, so, I just wanted to share some of those tools with you. I think those can be really important. Again, I highly recommend being in treatment. This video is obviously not meant to replace treatment. So if you do have a therapist that you see, I'm sorry, I totally just shook my shook my recorder. So you probably saw that. It's not, I am not in an earthquake. So, but I would encourage you to be in therapy, find the right kind of therapist for whatever it is that you're struggling with. And I hope this was a meaningful video to you. The other thing I want to share too is that there is a quick 2-minute video called This Is Your Period in 2 Minutes by Glamour Magazine. You can find it on YouTube. It's a great 2-minute video. It's very entertaining. It synopsizes what a woman goes through in her whole cycle. The actress, I don't know who she is, but she's great. And I think she plays a great role in this 2-minute video. So I am not endorsing Glamour Magazine. I am not approving of Glamour Magazine by any stretch. I am literally just recommending this particular video if that helps. So God bless you all. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please comment in the comment section if you would like to. God bless.